going on, folks? MeMaOnCloudFetti back at it with another dope episode.
Hey guys.
You're looking gorgeous. I just want to put that on record.
Thank you.
Tonight's episode is gonna be lit like all the time. Okay? Tonight's episode is Married at First Sight.
Yes. I don't know how many of you watch this crazy show. We complain about it every season and we tune in every season.
Been on 10 seasons. Now, she convinced me to watch this show from the beginning, okay? Because I thought it was a female show, Married at First Sight. Why would I be into it? For me personally, it was a learning experience each season. Me seeing how other people's relationships work, obviously comparing it to mine, and feeling so fortunate in the end because these people here, man, they had a lot of problems. But also the experiment itself is very interesting to see how people react. How do they respond? Of course, everybody's excited about the whole idea, but it starts getting deep within each season with different personalities and stuff.
Yes. So what we're going to do today is discuss Married at First Sight, just our views and feelings of the show overall. And we're going to touch on the latest episode, season 10, because this one to me is a disaster and it just started. So let's get into that.
I can't stand any one of them.
Yeah. So I did convince my husband to watch it because I used to watch it. Yeah. And he was just not for it because he's not one for the chick flicks and stuff like that. And he's just like, oh, it's a girly show. But he kind of got into it because he was like, okay, this is kind of cool and interesting. But at first, he thought the people were crazy. So did I. But my rundown or review totally of Married at First Sight overall is that these people are very brave to take a chance and put themselves out there to find love. Especially, so for those of you who may be watching this video that don't know Married at First Sight and are interested in checking it out, Married at First Sight is, it's like what, experiment where experts match people according to personalities, career, values,
what they want in life.
Exactly. So you're married at first sight because you only see your partner at the wedding day, at the altar. Now, at that time, you have the option to say, hey, I don't want to go through this just by seeing the person off of first sight, or you say I do and you go through it. And then you go through it, I think, for about 8 weeks, the experiment. You go on a honeymoon, you live with the person, and then at the end of the 8 weeks, you decide whether you want to stay married or you want to go your separate ways. And that's the whole hassle of the show. It's that it sounds simple or whatever, or maybe it doesn't. But the 8 weeks be a hot mess, okay? So my husband has a lot to say about it, but my whole thing is that these people, I'm sorry, I'd be talking loud. Every time I play it back, I'm like, why am I screaming?
I don't think that.
But the people, they are brave, right? They sign up. But what happens that I see over and over again is that as soon as they come to the altar, they get married, hey, happy wedding day happens and goes on, they start to revert back to their ways. Like, it's like, well, I don't do that. This is out of my comfort zone. Well, why are you marrying somebody at first sight? That's just my observation, that people want to take the chance, but once the experiment starts, they shut down. They don't want to, they want to stick to what they have been doing, which obviously has not been working for them. So that's just a common thing that I see with the couples in this show. So you could take that.
Absolutely. A lot of people on there are not used to cameras. Understandable. I mean, they weren't on TV prior to that, so having people follow you all over the place with cameras can be uncomfortable, but at the same time, you signed up for it. So stop acting like a fool, telling cameras to get out your face.
It's true.
You know they following you. I'm sure they've more than prepped you on it. Yeah. So knock that off because you signed up.
And it's season 10.
Yeah. 2, you got people, like she said, that, decide to go back in their ways after being with the person and going through the process. So, I mean, to me, being involved in a situation is one thing, but also common sense. This is a process. So there's no real breaks other than the commercial breaks.
It's
You know,
true.
you're with an individual. If I was doing it, my objective would be getting to know the person. Not so much reading into every move, but more so knowing like, okay, I gotta get to know the person. I'm actually married. It's legit. I gotta decide if I want to stay with this person once the process is over. So let me take advantage of that opportunity and really, again, get to know the person, see if we're compatible. Also, to touch upon that, not only do they try to match and align people, you know, with same common interests and stuff like that, but they also look for partners that can bring certain things out of you
Yes,
or that can balance something that you may
exactly.
be lacking. So if you're not an aggressive person, you're laid back, they may pair you with someone who is like an outrovert, that, you know, is outgoing, just to balance you out. So it's interesting though how this ends up playing out throughout the season. Because they mean well. The experts, they
They
do
do.
try and they do their research and they really go by what you say and they really try to pair someone with you based on like future goals and stuff like that. You know, these are people that have somewhat decent careers. And at this point, I guess this is the only thing that's missing. So, you know, they try to take the next step. In my personal opinion, a lot of people sign up are the
Mhm.
ones that feel like they quit too easy in the
Yes.
relationship dating game and more so try to skip steps um, with signing up to this. And I think overall, I've learned personally, you know, life is about knowing yourself.
Mm.
You're not going to learn more and know about yourself until you be in multiple relationships.
Yep.
So you got to let that process go naturally versus saying, oh, okay, I went on 20 dates. I tried these dating apps. It sucked. Bad experience. Not for me. I'm just tired of these guys or these women out here. Let me sign up with this. That way I can get married and I deal with that no more. To me, that's beneficial for you going through that process of dating all these people because again, you're finding out who you like. You're scratching off what you don't like and know who you want to be with and know who you are so you're ready for a real relationship. So that relationship comes, ain't nothing else to do but soar at that point because you skipped the steps. So with this show, to me, you're cutting all that out and then you start getting mad, fighting everybody when, you know, they're trying, like, they come in with optimism, usually the women, where they're like, I want to get to know this guy. He's attractive. We're actually married.
Hmm.
There's certain things I like that he don't like, vice versa. But you know what? I'm gonna make it work. I'm not gonna give up. And there's always an individual that's like, oh, well, screw this. I'm out of here. I'm
Yeah.
moving out.
And I think also what people don't realize from the experiment, they feel like it's like he said, they're skipping steps. Like there's no shortcuts to the top, right? You kind of have to go through the process. So my thing is that you didn't find this person on your own. The experts found them for you. So the process for you is the 8 weeks, but these people, they act as if it's like, oh my God, this is the hardest thing in life. I mean,
What have you
they
gotten me into? And it's
yeah,
like you
they
decided
they've
that.
they've done all of the legwork for you. All you have to do is try to get to know the person, and they make it seem like the hardest thing ever. And what I'm starting to see with these people is that this is the reasons they're single.
Mm-hmm.
They're stuck in their ways, and a lot that people don't realize with relationships and marriage is that your partner is a reflection of your partner is somebody who's gonna tell you like, hey man, you're very inconsistent, or I noticed that you don't follow through with your goals, or I noticed you like to start stuff and don't finish. I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that you're very evasive with information. And these are the things that they're learning about themselves, and I feel like they can't face who they really are because the person comes into it now, as my husband said, and usually they're the opposite. So if you're a person that's passive, the partner may be a little bit more aggressive. So if you're a person that doesn't really talk, the partner's trying to pull stuff out of you.
Right.
So then you have the person who's passive, like, oh, this is too much, I can't, and they want to run. But that's marriage. You cannot go and marry somebody and get a home and start a life, and they don't know who you really are. And these people are not allowing the people to get to know who they really are, or they're not liking who their partner is exposing them that they are. And they can't face that. So then they run away. They don't want to complete the project. But you'll never be in a relationship with anybody, not just on Married at First Sight.
In this particular season, to me, the ones that got a problem catching feelings, reading too much in the situation are the men, ironically.
It is.
Where, you know, they going crazy to me, acting like girls, screwing things up. Meanwhile, you got an attractive woman that's like... Now, mind you, in reality, dating, everybody would just cut the people off. But there's always somebody with sense, usually the woman that realized, like, wait a second, I married this individual. Let me treat it like such. So therefore, I'm not going to run away. If there's an issue, let's just talk it out. Or let's get the experts or the therapists involved where they can give some insight, because right now we're not in a good place. So it seems like typically with these couples is they're on a high from the wedding and even the honeymoon. And then after they hit sort of like a dead spot, because now it's like, okay, we're going to move in. Let's talk finances. Or we've been spending so much time with each other. Now we hit like a wall. Yeah. A stalemate. So then it's like, oh, okay, well, what happens now? And it's like, it's life, you know? Yeah. Me and her be chilling all the time and don't be saying nothing. There's a lot of times I don't feel like going out. Sometimes I want to chill. She's like, yo, let's do something. I could have been like, nah, I don't want to do nothing. But then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's do something. And now it's fun. You know, we always want to do things. So you got to let the partner be them.
You have to open up your mind. You cannot sign up to an experiment, but then you don't want to complete the experiment. Then don't put yourself in that position. How can you put yourself in that position and sign up and the experts do their part, everybody does their part, and then you run away? And also what I don't like that is unfair is that everybody's in the same boat. So how dare you run away from the experiment when you and your partner made a vow or a commitment to go through it together? It's kind of like a punk way of doing it.
Yeah, and if you got problems with communicating, like a lot of people do, some worse than others, say, okay, well, this time it's kind of different. I can't revert back to my normal ways because I'm actually married now. I'm on TV. I'm not trying to look like a fool. So therefore, let me do the opposite of what I normally do. Let me at least communicate. May come off the wrong way, but let me just say what's going on versus running off. You know, you got couples where the guy didn't want to move in after getting married. You know, I'm sure they explained to them on the show this is what's going to happen, but oh, no, I have to take a break, fall back. Let's do everything else in the marriage with the moving in part. You're going to have to give me some time with that. Like, bro.
What are you talking about time? It's Married at First Sight.
Yeah, like, are you a woman? Like, what, you need your space? Like, why would you sign up? It's like they acting like they were forced to get involved with this when it's like...
Yeah, like, you put yourself in that position, so how dare you run away from the experiment? Like, season 10, if you've been watching, we're not good with the names. There's so many people, because first of all, they did 5 couples. I think, and it's 2 hours, so it's really long-winded. The couples is all over the place. I don't think any of them are good matches, in my personal opinion. It's just like some of them are young, they're indecisive. It's just a mess.
Then you got. Sorry to cut you off. You got another couple. Just give you an idea that's arguing or are very concerned with when they're gonna fall in love with each other. Like there's a timetable. So
it's so annoying.
This woman wants to know, when is he gonna fall in love?
I can't.
And I think the guy never fell in love. He's very young, yet again he's interested in signing up for the show. He's like 24, 25, and if you don't get married, it's gonna be a crisis. So okay, so something wrong with him on that note. Then 2, he's like, I never fell in love. Okay, you're 24 years old. That's believable. She's concerned with that because maybe if he didn't fall in love before, he doesn't know what love is.
Something is wrong with him.
What if he never falls in love with me? Then I think, I truly believe now that we're thinking about it, we're talking about it. Then he says, I'm probably going to fall in love within 6 months to a year. Okay? So
I'm sorry to laugh.
I don't know if he developed that.
Who told him that?
I don't know if he developed that, but you know what? Y'all women be bothering us so crazy. Sometimes you force us to come up with some answers. So I believe he was
But
forced kept talking about it to just pick a number,
but,
and that's what he thought it came to.
But also, you're missing a good part, is that this same woman, she told him that she was still kind of feeling her ex. And while she's been on the show, her ex been hitting her up like, I love you. Of course, you know, when you move on, the ex is like trying, because she's on this show now. Now the ex appears and wants to be committed. So she tells the guy that. So that doesn't help with him never being in love and not knowing when he's going to fall. So now he's like, I don't even know if she still really wants me. Should I fall? I mean, I've never fell, but I don't want to fall for her. She leaves me for her ex. So it's a whole bunch of overthinking. And I really don't feel like she should have divulged that information. Why are you on this show if you still have feelings for your ex? I feel like some people, some things just don't need to be said.
Yeah, for the wrong reasons, but yet you want things to turn out a happy ending for you.
So now, I guess she put the ex feelings to the side, and now she's on him like, when do you think you're going to fall in love? Excuse me?
It's a natural process.
Oh,
I think if two individuals like each other, and they signed up, it can grow that way. Because it seemed like they had a little bit of chemistry. So at this point, time, you know, will heal all wounds, and then see what happens. I think, you know, living with each other is a great test. Try that, focus on that, and see how y'all get along with that, and then it's gonna happen. But I mean, they be in bed, she asking him that, and I'm like, why are you asking him that? And he can't tell you, like, you turning him off. That's like asking him when he gonna propose. You know, we know some people have done that. You know, when are you gonna propose to me, or wondering when it's gonna happen? Like,
yeah, it takes all of the element of surprise out of it.
Let it
but
happen.
My whole thing, the real guys that's pissing me off, it's three of them. Not he, though, not the one he addressed. Not the one he addressed, but there's two black guys. I can't really remember their name on the show, but it's like, why?
One of them, I'm gonna tell him out, because I'll tell you, if you're watching, bro, I can't stand you, Brandon. You got issues, okay? It's Brandon, and not because he light skin either.
Oh, God.
But you know, he giving people a hard time.
He
acting like a fool, man.
His wife is very into social media. She has a good following and stuff like that. But she's just doing things. This is a social media age. I mean, there's times where me and my husband is like Starbucks and we take a selfie. I mean, whatever. There's times where he's like, all right, but I know my husband. And then there's times where he's like, let's take a picture. Like, he's cool with it. But she was just doing like she's excited, like she's married, and she's like, hey, Brandon, you know, and he just flips like, oh, she's her on that social media. She has a camera in my face. I was scared. What were you scared about?
He ain't saying nothing. He just runs. She don't see him like the whole day, and it's like, what's wrong with this dude?
He acts like a girl. I don't care. He acts like a little girl. Then, okay, fine. He does this a million times. Then,
when he's ready, he come back.
Listen, then she forgives him. She forgives him. Several times he pulls this stunt. Even up to Mexico when they left the honeymoon, he's having a fit. She has to pack up his luggage, bring it to the car for them to go to the airport. This guy is going off on the camera crews and the rest of the cast, cursing and doing all types of rude stuff. Then he gets lost at the airport because he doesn't show up to the apartment they have to move in together for like a week later or something. Now, what is the purpose in all of that? Why are you doing that? And how does he think he's making his wife feel by doing this stuff? Pause. The latest episode, she gets just tired of him, because now he comes back eventually, because they talk to the pastor or whoever, the expert, and they convince him to move in. So now he's back and he's playing video games all day. He's not talking to her. He's not thinking. So she's frustrated. She's fed up. So then she goes on Snap and says a message like, why can't I just find a good guy? I'm not asking for much. You know, she says some other things. He gets offended. What does he do? He disappears. Right? But
he moves out too.
He moves out. But people don't want to take accountability. Why is she saying those things? I'm understanding she could have went about it differently, but she's frustrated. She's frustrated. The whole time she's been with you, all you do is disappear and get an attitude with her. She's tired, right? So now he's checked out. He doesn't want anything to do with her. And
peace.
then there's another guy. He has the hair. I don't know. He's not a black guy. He's like a fitness instructor, and he has the hair. He's another one. I guess the wife is not attractive to him. And
yeah, he said she was.
When he saw her coming down the aisle and the wedding happened, he's like, you're beautiful, you're amazing, my wife is pretty. Flip the script. Now he can't stand the sight of her. It's like, I'm not really feeling her. How many times are you going to say that? So he tells the wife that. And for women, I mean, that's going to make you feel so insecure. And he keeps saying it repeatedly. And second, how you know she's attracted to you? What type of, why do you feel so comfortable to say that to someone? Oh, I'm not attracted, but hopefully I will get attracted. That's just not something that you tell a person, especially your wife. And you made the decision to marry her. So he doesn't live there either. He disappeared too.
Yeah, he's like, I can't deal with the moving in part. Let's do everything else, and then in due time, I'll feel comfortable. And it's like, bro,
I don't know his name, but he's annoying too. He's annoying. Like,
stop playing house.
Who cares?
Man.
He just wants to go home and put his keratin treatment in his hair or whatever. He's annoying. He's high maintenance.
Then we got this dark skinned dude. First of all, he supposedly has said something to her on the plane after the honeymoon, like, hey, you know,
his name is Mike, I think, or I don't.
Yeah, but he's trash.
Anyway.
He's trash.
Go on.
So he's like, oh, we better have sex soon. If not, I don't know how long the marriage is going.
Yes, that's what he told her on the honeymoon.
And then he flips it like, I don't remember saying that. Like she'd make that up. No woman's gonna make that up. Okay. Then he just starts making up a bunch of lies. And, you know, she's questioning him on it, and he's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable to tell you anything like that. And it's like what's wrong with you, man? And all she's doing is looking for answers with things that he said. It's not like she's prying him for information.
At first we were like, but as the episodes go on, we're like, this guy is weird. Right? So they get back from the honeymoon. They're living together. He announces during the honeymoon to the whole team, the other couple's like, hey, I'm going to be a principal come Monday when we get back. And everybody's like, congratulations, man, congratulations. And his wife is there like, oh, really? Like, he didn't tell me that, but he's announcing it to the group. Fine, whatever. It blows over. She's happy for him. Then, fast forward to the last episode, he tells her, like, Friday, oh, I'm no longer going to be a principal on Monday. I took another job. So she's like, so, what
happened?
Did you get job as a principal over the phone? When did you get the second job? So he's saying he's not doing the other job anymore. He's doing another job come Monday. So she's just like, this guy is weird. You know, like. She's
asking him about it. And again, he's like, well, I don't feel comfortable to discuss that with you.
That's how he deflects. Every time he says something, he does something strange, he has no follow through, and she questions it. I'm not comfortable. You're the one who volunteered the information. You'll be a principal.
First of all, dude, she's your wife. She gotta know these things.
Exactly. So you're just gonna.
But secondly, technically, that's not a conversation. You can't say something. Then when someone asks you about it, you're like, don't worry about it. But you just told me that. You know, like, hey, you didn't get it. Oh, really? You know, what happened? I hope it works out for you. Like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's like, you told me that. So it's like, get out of here then. If you don't want me to ask you nothing, you ain't got to tell me because I ain't interested anyway. So, you know.
Everybody is sensitive in their feelings. He's very strange. So
it's the guys. It's like.
It is. And they show like a clip for next week's episode. And that whole thing with him, the principal, she still doesn't know his occupation. She doesn't know if it's real. He kind of blows it over, buys her a box of candy. And I just didn't understand how that solved anything. But anyway.
He took a shoebox and bought some candy from the corner store and put it in the shoebox, okay?
Yeah, and she's like, thanks. Like, she's trying to go along with the process, but you could tell it's just a collection of questions. Like, he tells me we need to have sex by the honeymoon. He tells me he has a job as a principal, then he's not. I really don't know what he does. And then the upcoming episode, I guess he invites her to go to yoga, saying he's a yoga instructor. And she finds out that that's a lie. What is the problem?
Again, in real life, if you date an individual like this, you slowly remove yourself from the situation.
Backwards.
But you can't necessarily do that in this case because you're married. So again, she's willing to work things out, start over. She understands it's a process.
It's too much.
And these people are unwilling to do it or acting crazy, want to end up switching things around and say, you know, I'm ready to talk now. And it's like, screw you, man. I'm putting in all this hard work. You keep running.
So, we're gonna narrow down some pointers of what we think the show could do to improve. I don't think it should be canceled completely, but it definitely needs to be revamped. Let's eliminate the 2 hours. Let's eliminate the 5 couples because it's just way too much. And there needs to be an age limit. I think it should be 30s and up. I don't think this should be for anybody in their 20s. Because my thing is, we got married in our 30s, but your 20s, you're still trying to figure things out. I don't feel like it's that dire that you need to be married at 24 or 25. And there's people on there that's like 24 or 23. It's just not that serious. I feel like there should be 30 and up for couples that are more mature, that are actually looking for commitment. Age limit. Also, they just need to vet these people a little bit better. I mean, as for the guy who's lying about his career, that's a little sick, we don't even know what he does, and she's laying down with this guy. So it's like, are you really doing background checks and stuff on these people? Because a lot of the things are very strange, and there should be some type of penalization, or they should be penalized if they don't follow through with the procedures. Nothing like jail or stuff like that, but maybe like avoiding the contract, or they don't get paid, certain. But it's just. I just feel like these people are allowed to do whatever they feel, and that's not a part of the process. So it throws everything off, and even the viewers are confused, like, well, why are they allowing them to not show up and live in the apartment? That's a part of the process. So they have to streamline those people not going to continue the process. Like, it should be in the contract, hey, if you don't abide by this, then you don't get this sum of money. Like, say if they get paid $5,000 an episode, you don't get your full $5,000 if you don't complete.
Because they do a good job at making people feel comfortable.
They do.
They're not on them like that. Especially the experts. The experts do check in with them to see how things are going, but they give them a lot of space to go through the process of the honeymoon. Move-in is a huge transition. They allow them to spend quality time with each other and work things out. So, at this point, these people really got to shape up. I agree with you on, having more of a thorough check.
Yes.
A scan of these people.
Because I've never, even the last season where the girl was dating the basketball player and he disappeared too, and why are they allowing them? I mean, you can't hold anybody hostage, but there should be like, well, you're not going to get the full sum of money if you don't complete the steps of the process. They don't have to hug and kiss and all that stuff, but he should be in the household just like these girls, the chicks are. It's not fair.
Common sense, if you really need that much space, which a lot of people out there, that means you don't need to be married. Or, you need to have your own place and, just date somebody because that's what you're used to. You know you're going to deal with that.
Yeah, but I don't think it's fair that certain people have to abide by the rules and other people can do what they please. That's just, it's total opposite of what they should be doing for the show. Like, it doesn't make any sense that they can just go home for 3 weeks and come back at the last week of decision day. They didn't do the process then. It's like null and void, so they need to do something to streamline that. But it's a good show. It just needs a lot of tweaks, and I understand they're trying to improve, but some of these people are just a hot mess.
That's real bad.
We're going to keep watching, though, because I got to see how this turns out.
Yeah, folks. So tune in to Married at First Sight. What channel is it on?
Lifetime, I think.
Lifetime.
Something like that.
And just see how this process works. Again, I think for me, and a lot of situations like this dealing with relationships, I learned from it on how people interact with each other and why things go bad. I also compare it to my relationship, and it makes me more grateful seeing things like this, and it helps us appreciate what we have more. Yeah. So it's a real learning experience. So I think you guys should check it out just to learn how relationships work, and then maybe you'll find out you want to get married, but maybe you should take your time more after seeing something like this.
And also, it taps into another topic of a video that we have that you guys should watch on our channel called Marriage is Not a Wedding. And it ties into shows like this that people are trying to skip the process. Now, for some people, it does work. They're still married. They have kids. It's a beautiful thing because they're open-minded. But a lot of these things is that they're connected to people that they have no chemistry with. And sometimes it's not up to the career and your values. If I'm Christian, you're Christian. Sometimes it's just chemistry. And those people just don't have it together.
These people don't want to budge and they don't want to compromise.
And the experts can't give you chemistry. So I don't think sometimes it's up to the people or the experts. Sometimes it's just not a good match. You know, and that shows that you cannot sometimes mess with faith or what's supposed to happen. So watch Marriage is Not a Wedding, because some people just want to be married because they think it's, you know, a walk in the park. But when it get real, they want to run. And tune in. But Married at First Sight, the experts, the show, great idea. You guys are doing an amazing job. We're going to continue to watch, but just tweak it a little bit.
That's right. Please subscribe if you haven't. Share this video.
Yes, please, please.
MeMaOnCloudFetti, back at it. You guys have a great week. We're going to come back with some more dope episodes. All right?
Peace. Bye, guys.